Overnight, President Trump agreeing to meet face-to-face with NATO allies this week as European leaders race to rein in his push for Greenland. The president, who heads to Switzerland later today for the World Economic Forum in Davos, posting he has agreed to a meeting of the various parties, writing, "As I expressed to everyone very plainly, Greenland is imperative for national and world security. There can be no going back. On that, everyone agrees." But NATO leaders are racing to de-escalate. Trump has threatened 8 NATO countries with punishing tariffs after they sent forces to Greenland in a show of support. Trump now revealing private text messages he received from French President Emmanuel Macron, saying, "We are totally in line on Syria. We can do great things on Iran. I do not understand what you are doing on Greenland." A source close to the French president confirming the message is genuine. It comes as Trump attempts to downplay his own text messages to Norway's prime minister, insisting his Nobel Peace Prize snub isn't a factor in his push for Greenland.
No, I don't care about the Nobel Prize.
Over the weekend, Norway's prime minister texted Trump asking to work things out over the phone. But Trump firing back, "Dear Jonas, considering your country decided not to give me the Nobel Peace Prize for having stopped 8 wars plus, I no longer feel an obligation to think purely of peace. Although it will always be predominant, but can now think about what is good and proper for the United States of America." He's very preoccupied with the Nobel Peace Prize, the Norwegian prime minister told reporters. And as I've explained to him many times, it's an award given by a Norwegian committee, not by the Norwegian government.
If anybody thinks that Norway doesn't control the Nobel Prize, they're just kidding. They have a board, but it's controlled by Norway, and I don't care what Norway says.
Trump refusing to back down, overnight posting this edited image of an August Oval Office meeting with global leaders, showing the American flag covering Greenland. And this fabricated image of himself planting the American flag with a sign that says Greenland, U.S. territory. All eyes will now be on Davos as world leaders gather. They are going to try to turn down the temperature and convince Trump to back away from this insistence on taking Greenland and his threat of those punitive tariffs. But the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, speaking to reporters there in Switzerland this morning, saying, quote, "Everyone should take the president at his word." George.
NATO has never seen this kind of threat from one of its own members. Mary Bruce, thanks very much.